Tonight, I want to welcome each and every one of you here on a special message that I'm going to put out today. But you stick around here because as I continue, I'm going to give you the consequences of what is happening before us that we need to pay attention to.
A Pentagon report is detailing a dramatic increase in UFO sightings, more than 350 since 2021.
Maybe I haven't been abducted. Maybe they're not contacting me. Yes, they are. They're doing it.
A long-awaited NASA report into hundreds of UFO sightings.
Or why does the fear of disbelief or ridicule silence your voice if you're watching me? And it is to you who I'm talking to, the black community.
Approximately 4 hours and 17 minutes from now, if the flight plan as it is now established.
Long-awaited NASA report into hundreds of UFO sightings has just been released in the US. The Pentagon report is detailing a dramatic increase in UFO sightings and more than 100.
Tonight, I want to welcome each and every one of you here on a special message that I'm going to put out today. It's all in response to not only my personal experience being a UFO investigator, creator of Project Black, the Black League of Alien Contact Knowledge, and finding the difficulty that it is to make sure that in the community that I grew up in, that talk about the UFO alien connection. And tonight, this video is really directed to you, the listener, the watcher, the person you're going to share it with, a message to say it is time to start talking. And I'll go into it in detail and why, the importance of it, and hopefully this particular video is going to be shared. Now, if you are listening and you're saying to yourself, Roderick, I'm not African-American, black, or whatever, it does not matter because this is for all of us. And you may have or know persons in my community that you can share this with and understand that this is for all of us that's interested in the UFO alien phenomena, all of us who are researchers, all of us who are truth seekers that are seeking the truth. And I want you to get a visualization in your mind right now. I want you to visualize a circle, a pie. And then I want you to take a portion of the pie, not put it in half. That's not even enough. Just make a quarter of this pie. So you visualize this pie and there's a quarter. And that quarter is a section of people, a community that have stories that can contribute to the extraterrestrial phenomena, the experiences, the encounter, the technological advancement of what's happening within this particular realm of things that we're dealing with. But even that quarter, there is a small pittance of information coming out of that. So it's even smaller, and we'll use the word disproportionately. So why is it important that I push for the efforts so that we can get more stories out, so that we can get more people to come forward? Because it is important, a very relevant time today, that as we push for disclosure, that people are prepared for what's to come. And it's not a fear factor, it's information, it's mental stability, it's mental health. It's all the things that come with the unknown because, as you know, your eyes are useless when your mind is blind. And if your mind is not open to what you're about to see, it could be standing right in front of you. You're not going to interpret it. You're not going to believe it. You're not going to receive it. And it will be a problem for you and the descendants of you because you're going to teach them the same thoughts and ideology that you perceive when it comes down to extraterrestrials or alien civilizations, not only outside the universe, but what about here on Earth, not only at the top in dimensions, but below the ground as we walk. And it is to you who I'm talking to, the black community. And I want to extend what I consider a urgent call when it comes down to this. And my question is, why do you hold the stories of the stars, your encounters with the unknown? Why not talk about this stuff? Now, I say this because I am very experienced at it. And if you didn't know who I am, let me go ahead and put this out here for my credibility and authority of what I'm talking to you about. I've been in several TV shows. I also have insiders connections, so I do get information that I dare not to share. I can't share, and I do know if I did to some of you, it would blow your mind. Now, I know some of you are diehard enthusiasts, and there are things out there that still will blow your mind if they are shared with you. But I want to prepare for you or get you prepared so that things that do come out, you understand where it's going. I get emails constantly, people wanting to share their experience. But every so often, and if not 90%, has a line right at the bottom. I don't want to come out publicly, but I do need to get it off my chest. What am I supposed to do? What is my purpose in this? That I don't mind being here forward. I don't mind being out front. You want me to consume that energy that's been playing with you and toying with you all of these years, making you feel that you may be crazy, or maybe people are calling you crazy. Maybe it's mental, and maybe you got to get it off your chest, but you will dump it to me, and I don't mind receiving it, only to say, but I want to take it to help other people. And why won't you come forward? That's your plan. That's your prerogative, is the word that I would use, to a point to help the collective. And we need those brave people to now become to the point to where they're willing to say, hey, this happened. This is what's going on. I want to add to the collective. And I use that word strongly because I'm not doing a separation. It's not a he or they or us and them. We just need to focus on an area that is disproportionately being represented, and the stories. You know, you think it's sleep paralysis. Maybe I haven't been abducted. Maybe they're not contacting me. Yes, they are. They are. They're doing it. And they've been doing it, and you know it. Or why does the fear of disbelief or ridicule silence your voice? If you're watching me and you have a story, you have an encounter, maybe you confused. Maybe it's sleep. You know, you think it's sleep paralysis. Maybe I haven't been abducted. Maybe they're not contacting me. Yes, they are. They are. They're doing it. And they've been doing it, and you know it. But you want to be able to deal with it, and more people are dealing with it in silence, I should say, when it comes down to extraterrestrial alien encounters, even hybrids, even hybrid visions that you're getting, conscious thoughts, downloads, and messages. The other part is to say that your experiences, your narratives are vital, is a vital piece to the larger puzzle that I talk about all the time, the one that I feel that humanity desperately is trying to solve. It is a humanity thing. Make no mistake about it. It's not a black, white, green thing. It's just there's an area that we need to get people to start talking. And it starts with you. Yes, your story. We have what we call unspoken truths when it gets down to this. And we can also say that all of us have taken time to gaze up to the skies in the night sky and witness all of the stuff that holds out there, and the stories that you have could redefine our understandings of the universe. Yes, you could help with this. But why do you hesitate is the question that I will ask. Is that the weight of historical skepticism that may cause you to say, okay, no, I'm not going to do it. It's going to marginalize my voice, just because of what the past is. And that is important, and it is significant. I'm not weeding it out. I'm not discounting that. Once again, why is the question. We understand how. Everybody know how. But it's the question why is the answer. Now, I could say, is it fear that your stories will be twisted or dismissed by society that has often ignored the Black perspective? And I will tell you, not now, because people are being vindicated. These stories are real. It's all over the news. It's all on CNN. It's all on major news stations. Now, I know some of these are maybe not credible to some people, but the fact that the media is doing it, congressional hearings, all these things are happening right now. So you got to know that it's some importance. And so therefore it is time to come forward, period. But I will say, imagine the impact of the person of color. Listen to me. Listen to me. Imagine the impact of a person of color who stood witness to the UFOs in Roswell, New Mexico, or the Phoenix Lights if they come forward. And don't get me wrong. Somebody's going to send me an email of one person that said something and happens to be a person of color. I get it. I'm talking about thousands on one side of the fence and 2, 3 over here. We need hundreds of stories. We need our grandparents to talk. We need our aunts to talk. We need everyone to begin the process to talk. This is important. I'm not sitting here talking about, the other people or the left or the right, Republicans or Democrats. It's you. It's a big deal. It really is. One of the things that we have to understand is that how might your perspective challenge what we call the established narratives today? Because it may twist it. It may say something totally different. It could be. It really could be. Your experiences are not just personal anecdotes. They are threads of the fabric that are shared in our human experience that stretches beyond the confines of race. This is scientific. This is humanity. It's a big deal. It really is. And once again, I deal with this on a daily basis with a D. I get the emails every day. I get the emotional packages that people have and the damages that it has caused. I get them every day. Sometimes I don't even respond because I don't have the personal energy, because it's the same story, different person, different emotional hits on them. But I get it. Sometimes I send a short answer. I understand. And then I'll say, hey, you're not the only one. Let's share this with some people. And I get the response. No, I don't want to go public, but I want to talk to you. I need to tell you. I need you to call me. It's important for you to call me. I got to tell you this. What do I do with the story? How do I validate it? Am I just going to come here and tell you Mary had a little lamb and this is that's the bedtime stories, but I have no person to bag it up, which is you? You who sent me the emails? You who says I need to figure this out, but we can't do it. It's bigger than just you. It's really huge. I promise you, it is very, very huge. Why must the voices of our community, the Black community, and I'm going to be specific here, remain on the fringes of UFO disclosure? But we can't come together to tell the stories. And yes, it's going to be from a different perspective, but that counts for everybody. It really does. And it's important that we understand that. By sharing your stories, you're going to challenge the status quo. You're going to break down the barriers of disbelief and skepticism that's out there, because it adds more proof for everyone. And we need people, and we need you to begin to spread the message and come forward. My email address is contact at whythebigsecret.com. You can reach out. We have everything that we need to push the narrative in the proper place. Now is the time for community disclosure. Now is the time for the stories to be heard, and imagine the empowerment, the sense of unity. It's going to create unity. You understand, you feel me. I hope y'all feeling my energy, my concern. I'm knee deep in it. It is a concern. I don't care what anybody tell you. It is a concern because there is a needle moving in the jungle. We're not paying attention to what is happening because you, with the stories, saying, I want to keep it my story, but you won't help in silence. How does that work? Not in something that's big. This is not a Jeffrey Epstein thing, okay? This is bigger. This is not a book of secrets of people that been doing stuff. And even though how bad and nasty all of that stuff is, I'm just talking about a whole level of secrecy that could be bigger, and it is bigger. The challenges are enormous, but we can do it. You can do it. Make no mistake about it. There is a religious component to this, a serious religion component to this. Are you prepared for that? I'm not sitting here talking about, oh, the other people or the left or the right, Republicans or Democrats. It's you. It's you because we made it taboo. We made the subject taboo and we don't want to spread the word. But you stick around here because as I continue, I'm going to give you the consequences of what is happening before us that we need to pay attention to. And you didn't think about those because nobody thought there were. But there is a lot of consequences of the silent and being in the dark. And I hear about it on a daily basis with a D. Now, oh, it's fun. It was fun in the beginning. 2 years ago when I took on this, or 3 years ago, it was just a quest. It was just a quest, my personal quest 4 or 5 years ago because I enjoyed the topic. Then I realized I had a calling. Then I realized that it was a message and things that I needed to do. And then I got the attacks from other people, you know, he this or don't do that. And it worked in some cases, but I still fought through because I felt that this is something we need to talk about. It's something that we need to do. Oh, yeah, I add my little humor because that's how we communicate, but I do take it very serious all the time. But if we took it too serious, and with all the mental health issues that come behind this thing, it will definitely be a disservice to press the buttons. So how do we deal with it? Listen to me. You're not just a witness. You know, we get those all the time. You're not a witness to these phenomena because it's happening. You're an experiencer. It was an encounter. It's happening. Yes, it does. It's not, this stuff is not made up. And people been saying, oh yeah, it's real. And every day I begin to think that this whole thing, and I would have never used the word of some simulation. Man, this is deep. It is so much that we don't know. It's so much we need to know. And there's so much we may not want to know. You just have to choose where you want to be. And when you do get that answers, and when you do open that bottle and find out something, it's too late. Can't turn back. The mind is like a parachute. It works best when it's open. And when you done open it, it's a done deal. It's a done deal. You can't put the parachute back in the bag when it's floating down. It's open. So if you're going to go and you're going to tip that line, you're going to tip that scale, and you want to know all of this stuff, and I'm going to give you some stuff, then we're going to do it. But be ready. Why would you deny the world and yourself the knowledge and the understandings of what your story really holds? Really? Why would you do that? So my part of this at this section is the time for silence. It's over with. And we cannot fear the past because the past is what shaped the future. Plain and simple. It really does. We know that. Why do they hide the past? Because it dictates the future. What if there were secrets in the past that could change your life today and reposition you into a point of where you're supposed to be? See, I did a show about the Montauk Project, and I talked about the severity of a project that happened in the 80s, back in the 40s, where they was bending time, reality. So we don't really have a clue that they could have already done that right now. All of you could have been rich and famous and somebody changed it. But I guarantee you they was on the same freaking bases. They was in the same airplane jets, and they were there at the radar station. They was there witnessing the same stuff. But let's go into a little bit about why I think we have this taboo within our community about this subject. And lastly, like I said, we'll talk about the consequences, which is probably the most important thing you should stick around for, because it could include, and it will include, all of our lives and what's at stake when it comes down to us not participating into the action of what is happening with what we call disclosure today. Disclosure. And am I making this up before I go into it? So do a check for yourself right now. Tell me when you see the congressional hearings, the military personnel that's coming forward. Do you see any of us that have this color? No, but I guarantee you they was on the same freaking basis. They was in the same airplane jets, and they was there at the radar station. They was there witnessing the same stuff. And why are we quiet? Because there's a personal history that I'm going to discuss that keeps us quiet when there could have been a different perspective. Imagine somebody said it was white, and somebody say, no, that thing was blue. Or imagine it went left, and the other person say, no, actually, it went right. That changes everything, just the little tweaks. But we don't hear it, and the narrative stays exactly where they want it. We're not going to go into Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. Let's make man in our image and the likeness of ourselves. And O-U-R is plural, and it's not singular. And it's not the trio. The God, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. It's not them. No. Make no mistake about it. There is a religious component to this. A serious religion component to this. Are you prepared for that? As we talk about the taboo, and as I started looking at things, suddenly I figured it out that it was deep. Man, do you know how many people still stop me? Hey, man, UFOs are real? Yeah. Yeah, I don't believe that shit. But then they come into it. Is it real? Sometimes I just like, nah, you ain't ready for it. Because I can't stop at that simple statement anymore. I can't just say, yeah, and they're all over the place. Just look up. That's the simple question and also the answer for them. And they won't even do that. And they do come back. Well, how come I don't see them? Who walks around with their head up like this every day? And if you did, you probably would see something. If you walk like this every day and just built your neck muscle, that your head just stayed up and out of apples with your eyes, if you're a man, you will probably see something. But we have predatory eyes. We see peripheral vision this way, left to right and around. We don't have eyes up here. And so the possibility, and you're not going to see a UFO this way 10 miles down the road. You ain't got eagle eyes. I don't care how many bifocals you're wearing. It ain't going to happen. How many stations of radio in our community do they talk about this? And I don't mind to laugh a little bit, but the seriousness of it. How many will take a call from an audience member who said that they think they was abducted last night? None of them. You ain't going to find this on some of the shows. You're not going to find it on the Breakfast Club, not in no deep capacity like we talk about it, because they're not going to go into reincarnation. They're not going to go into all of this, the possible soul net, and they're not going to go into all of the things that this thing takes us to that changes the narrative of what we've been taught. They're not going to go into Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. Let's make man in our image and the likeness of ourselves. And O-U-R is plural, and it's not singular. And it's not the trio. The God, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. It's not them. No. But they're not going to talk about that in detail, because that's the basics where it starts, the book of Genesis. And we can go to Enoch. We can go all over the places, but it starts right there. They can see it for themselves. But they're not going to do that on the Breakfast Club. They're not going to do that on K104 that I listen to in Dallas, Steve Harvey 97.9. They're not going to do that because it's going to mess with their money. Ain't the next people on the planet. They're going to own Mars, but we're not going to talk about the Tuskegee Airmen who stayed behind, and you know, Robert Friend, who now became the head of Project Blue Book, one of the top well-known UFO whatever in the history, and made all documentaries, hundreds of books, and they all start after he left. We don't want to talk about stuff because of what we already know. But this one right here, this extraterrestrial thing, it's a little different. It's really a little different because it don't tell me that, oh yeah, everybody knows about Betty and Barney Hill. And that is 50% anyway, because without the prestigiousness of his wife, who was well-known, well-deserved, well-educated, she was a great woman in that community, it gave them the opening to at least explore the stories between the two, because had it been him by himself, it would have been obliterated from history. We wouldn't have heard about it, period. And think that they was ahead of the game as being an interracial couple than anybody else was, because without them having that vision and it worked, we wouldn't even hear about the story. So they went through enough, not only going through that, but then had to go through the fact that they had an alien encounter together. Y'all give a shout out to Maisha. Thank you for your support. And I'm saying not they as in a racial, I'm saying the elites, the power, the people that's keeping the secret from you, but using the knowledge of the secret to go places that we not even wanting to go. We're gonna get into that deep as the consequences of not being prepared and not sharing the information and getting left behind on the disclosure movement. Going forward in the future of business and technological advancements and all the medical improvement, all of that stuff that's sitting behind this, that all of these other companies are taking alien technology and making billions and billions of dollars. And we don't even make a damn screw for a spaceship, not one, because our community is not into that. It's nothing else. It ain't nothing out there, y'all. Whatever. What? These people are preparing to get off the planet. Oh, they're gonna take some workers. Oh, there gonna be some people go work. Hell, we should be on the game of work. I'll be long gone by the time a lot of this stuff happens. But that don't mean you and your children and my kids and everybody else ain't the next people on the planet. They're gonna own Mars. And I'm saying not they as in a racial, I'm saying the elites, the power, the people that's keeping the secret from you, but using the knowledge of the secret to go places that we not even wanting to go. But yet we want to worry about the conspiracy if a UFO is real. Really? Come on, man. Y'all give a shout out to Tasha. I appreciate you for the support. Our past have gotten us in the mindset that we don't want to talk about stuff because of what we already know. But this one right here, this extraterrestrial thing, it's a little different. It's really a little different because it's not a secret that everybody's trying to not want the answer to. So they'll listen. You damn right your voice will be heard if you come forward in this deal. They want to know. You want to tell them you found some shit that landed in your yard and all of a sudden that it may have some hieroglyphics on it. You're going to have everybody in the world at your house taking it from you. You know how many stories we got, people out there right now that's watching, how many people that you know have talked to you at the water cooler or at home and even sitting right in front of you begin to whisper, yeah, I saw an alien. You know how many celebrities that there's a few out there, and I've been trying to contact a few because if we get some notable people with influence going ahead and being honest and talking, and we can get them in a collective, that's fine. I don't care if they can be on somebody else's show. I don't care. Long as we as the collective get it. But I really want to talk to them. I do want to put something together. So when I plan this new TV production, we want to get out there and get these people. We want to come right to you, bring the whole production crew, and do what everybody else is doing. We want to put that story out there. We're going to make you famous. And you just may benefit from it. What's the consequences of it not filtering into other communities that they're preparing to make a big reveal? Somebody in the future is going to read about your story today, and you're going to change somebody's life. You're going to awaken something in someone that's been so dug in deep that they're dealing with it. They're having nightmares. They can't talk. They can't speak about it. In fact, my book will be out or be finished in March. We'll be publishing it. It's called The Unspeakable Truth. If you email me without a return phone number or a way to, when you want to be a secret, stay a secret. You're not who we're talking about. I'm not saying that what you're saying is not important. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you can still continue to sleep with it, have a problem with it, because we cannot solve it for you. We can solve it for all of us together with you, because we can put your story together, this piece of a story together, this one together, and we'll make a pie. And then that pie can add to the recipe of the bigger piece of cake of disclosure in the ufology. And then it's going to inspire more people to want to become UFO investigators, researchers. They're going to start YouTube channels. They're going to start podcasts. They're going to start talking about it. Some of them are going to call me and say, hey, I want to be on your show. And they're going to go for it real. They're not going to have blurry phones and all that. They're going to get a camera because they want to be seen. They know this is production and that we need people to see you and hear you and take you seriously because you're in the game. And I'm going to back you up with what I have. I'm here. I'm opening up a door right now. So come on in. We're at the most groundbreaking moments in human evolution history. So we're going to talk about the cost of being silent. What is at stake for us keeping it under wraps at a time that is on the big newspapers, New York Times, CNN, News Nation? What's the consequences of it not filtering into other communities that they are preparing to make a big reveal? Are there any consequences? Do you even care? Do you care that, we're not talking about it? Is it okay with you? It's no secret no more. This ain't stuff that we talk about, under the table anymore. I'm on YouTube. I don't know who's all out here watching my stuff. I get thousands of views. It could be a whole lot of cynical people watching my stuff that has a problem with what I say and do. All right. Everybody's talking about the technological things, or the government has a spacecraft and maybe it's a ray gun. They don't care about that, but they do care about us mentally telling you stuff. They do care about me putting things out, how you need to handle things on a societal level and how you need to really perceive what is happening, why it's happening on a more human level. Yeah, they care about that stuff because that's where the change is going to happen. That's where it's going to make sense. Because a military spacecraft has nothing to do with my life except for the military provide protection. It don't filter down to my world. I ain't gonna never see it. I ain't gonna never see it anyway. I can tell you all day long that such and such David Grush said that they have a spacecraft, but I am concerned when David Grush says there's abandoned ones and people walking among us. I need to know that. Where they at? How they're surviving? Who are they living with? What do they eat? What do they eat? Not McDonald's. No, they're not doing it. Let's get into the consequences of the silent cost why the Black community voice is crucial in the age of extraterrestrial revelation. Now, as we stand in what I call at the cusp of a potential one of the most groundbreaking areas in human history, do you know where we are? We're at the most groundbreaking moments in human evolution history. If the big reveal was to come out tomorrow, it changes everything. Nothing will be the same ever again. And I mean that. You know that. Well, come on over to my YouTube channel, Roderick Martin High Strangeness, and you're going to be able to listen to the whole full hour-and-a-half video, including 30 minutes of the consequences, which is the most intricate part that you need to hear to why we're not talking about it. But in the meantime, I got two stories that you will want to hear about their alien encounters. We're talking about Jen and Blake right here. These two stories are off the chart. Make sure you come over and check this out as well. Make sure you subscribe to the channel right here, Forbidden Knowledge TV. Hop over to Roderick Martin High Strangeness, set those alerts, and subscribe to the channel. Because if you're a type of person and you like to hear these stories that are real big when it happened, but less talked about today in the UFO community and find out those secrets that those people are keeping from you, then you want to come to my channel. And also you're going to hear stories that you never heard before. And some of those stories, you may not believe it. So I got one big wish. My birthday is coming up next month, March the 10th. Yes, my birthday is coming up, and I have a huge wish for my birthday. Nah, it's not about seeing an alien, but you definitely want to check it out. But I need your help. If you can help me reach my birthday wish, it will be a beautiful thing. There's a link in the description of this video that says Roderick Martin's birthday. Click on that link, see the story, see if you can help with the birthday wish. And I just love you so much for just even checking the